Hello friends and welcome to my channel. My name is Jess and today we are working in my 8x8 Archer and Olive docket journal to create November wrap-up page. Basically this is something that I have been doing with Plan with Em, where we are creating Bujo Stat Pages. She does hers a lot more extensive than I do, and next year I will be creating a lot more extensive stat pages, but for now I'm just keeping it simple with the genres. Books read, pages read, and then hours listened, my top 2 favorite books, and then I'm basically coloring in a fun bookshelf for my rating. So let's go ahead and start because I basically have everything that I need. And I think we're going to start with the top portion right here. I am going to start by taking my black calligraph. I really like this for just like simple writing. And we're going to just put in November. Next year, I will be doing this in my disc-bound reading journal, and I'm planning on using just regular filler paper for it. But I think each one is going to be like a 2-page spread. Okay, so books, pages, and listened. So let's add that in. I really like knowing, like each month, kind of what my stats are. It's really interesting for me to be able to kind of look at it on like a day by or a month by month basis. And I'm getting all of my stats from Storygraph. So Storygraph is basically an app that you track the books that you read, and then it tells you for each month, this is how many books, this is how many pages, this is how many hours, and it kind of gives you a whole bunch of different categories. So I really, really enjoy using that. So I highly recommend that if you are looking for a good app to track your books, use Storygraph. And I will link it down below in the description. So books, pages, and listened. I'm going to be using my Zebra Sarasa Mark-On. This is a 0.5. I really like this pen because this one, I can be able to highlight after I write, and it does not actually like smudge. It's amazing. So 12 books, 2,328 pages, and then 49.32 hours listened. Now, when I put in my books into Storygraph, I made sure to actually correctly categorize whether they were an audiobook, a Kindle book, or a physical book. So I tried really hard to do that because I didn't want to mess it up. Before I go to my pie chart, I did go ahead and print out a little bookshelf that I can be able to put in the bottom. And I think what we're going to plan on doing, because I also have my book covers printed out. So I'm going to go ahead and put these down right here. So in that way, I know exactly where I want to be putting in kind of like my little star rating. And what I have been doing for these is, these are my top 2 books of the month. I have been putting in the star rating and then the title. Some months apparently I put in the author, some months I don't. We'll see what I do this month. And let's go ahead and glue this down. So this little tracker right here is where I'm going to be putting in the rating of the books as I read them. I have markers that I use for this. And this is a little bookshelf that I actually created. I drew it in Procreate and then I printed it out in Canva. So then this way, I'm not drawing them in. This shelf right here specifically has 12 usable books. I don't count the little books that the plant is sitting on. I'm only counting the books that are not obstructed by anything. Okay, next, let's go ahead and do this. So this is what I use for my genres. Typically I read just a handful of genres. So my typical genres is romance, fantasy, thriller, horror, mystery. And mystery is usually when it's like a mystery slash thriller. So I don't read, oh, and then like fiction or, I would say maybe like women's fiction, but even that is kind of like a, yeah, I swear romance is like probably the thing that I read the most. So in terms of genres, the way that I'm going to be looking at this is, hold on. That was not for just October. That was for the whole year. I'm like, wait a minute. I need just for October. Okay, so genres, I am going to be looking at, so I had 12. Again, I'm not even looking at the right month. What is wrong with me? Okay, November. Let's start over. Okay, so when I'm looking at November, I had read 12 books. Of the 3 that were fantasy, only 1 was technically fantasy because I'm considering these both to be romance. I have thriller, so I only have 1. And then like the mystery is the same thing as the thriller. And then romance, I'm going to say that I have 10 because one of the fantasy, it is categorizing as romance also. So I'm going to remove that from the romance. And this one is like a mystery, but I'm wondering if I should remove it from romance too. No, you know what? It didn't categorize it. I'm just going to count it as romance. So basically 10 romance, one fantasy, one mystery. So I'm just gonna do this, and holy crap, I really need to like start reading more genres next year. No shame at all. Okay, so let's go mystery, fantasy, and romance. And a lot of times women's fiction is going to be categorized as romance. So it's kind of like, I don't know, I think I need to figure out exactly what I'm going to do next year to really get into a lot more detail in terms of what I'm looking at for genres. So, that's definitely something that I'm kind of like keeping in the back of my head. Oh crap, I did the wrong color. I was supposed to do whatever. I was supposed to do pink for mystery. Let's do purple for romance. I like purple. Purple is a very romantic color. Yeah, the blue was supposed to be mystery and then pink was going to be romance, but I really wasn't paying attention apparently. That's what happens when I start talking. So I have been printing out the pages for my reading journal for 2024. With the exception of the monthly calendar, my reading journal is completely created by me. I am so proud of it, you guys. Like I cannot get over, like, as I'm printing out the pages, I'm just like, I like it. I like this. I like this. And I'm just so proud of myself. Like, some of them, and okay, so I kept some of them like a little bit more simple because there's like a lot of like tracker pages that I'm looking to use next year that I don't necessarily use, or that I'm kind of changing things up this year for next year. So some of the trackers are kind of a little different than what I have done in the past. But yeah, I'm so excited. Okay, so I think these are the 3 colors that I need. Basically, pink is a 5-star, blue is 4-star, and green is 3-star. In terms of the star rating, I will be using Goodreads because Storygraph lets you do like quarter and Storygraph lets you do quarter and half-star and 3/4 stars. And when I do my ratings, I like to keep it an even number. So Goodreads is just kind of a little bit easier because I'm not having to kind of figure out, do I need to go up? Do I need to go down? Or that sort of thing. So I'm just going to start with my first book. And yeah, if you are not using, oh, and my second book was a 4-star too. If you are not using an app to track your books, what are you doing with your life? I mean, I'm slightly kidding, but I'm also not slightly kidding. I highly recommend using both Goodreads and Storygraph. I like Storygraph for the stats, which is like the biggest reason why I use it. I like Goodreads because it's just so convenient with the way that it's set up, and you get the reading challenge, which I like too. Okay, so then November, I had a lot of 5-star reads. And you know, I did find it kind of interesting that November, I was like one of my lowest months for reading. I would not have expected that. So yeah, I thought that was really, really interesting. And I think November was like my first month in a while where I had a 3-star book, and I know that I'm coming up on that soon. Let's go from the bottom, and actually let's go top down in terms of like how I'm rating the rest of them. So, so that one's going to be a 3, and then the next 2 are 5 stars. But yeah, November was my month for reading a lot of physical books. It was my month for getting like fully caught up on arcs, and actually getting ahead. Like as of today, I've actually finished like most of my arcs for January, because in November I finished everything for December, and I think I even like started in January. So I was really, really, really proud of that. But yeah, like look at how many 5-star books. What in the world? Like, yeah, apparently it was just a really good month. Really good month that, hi Duke, that kind of made up for the fact that I had a 3-star book. So, oh no, October I had a lot of 3-star books. Interesting. I don't remember that, but okay, I did. All right, so now we've got these. Duke wants food, so he's gonna bug me. Okay, so what I've been using is Archer and Olive came out with a book-themed sub box. It's like a vintage library sub box, and in it was this gold star washi. So this is what I'm going to be using for my 2 top books of the month. Okay, Duke, I'm going to move you because you can't do this right now, bud. All right, so what I'm basically going to do is I'm just going to cut down the washi to where I'm just grabbing 5 stars from it. I really love this washi for my rating, by the way. And then we're going to go this one. So if you are ever on Etsy and you happen to spot a shop that sells washi that is very similar to this, please let me know. Drop me a comment, message me on Instagram. Carrier pigeon, I don't care. I really, really, really want to know, because I want to pick up, like once I'm done with this washi, I'm going to want to get more. Okay, so now we're going to do that for the book title, that for the author, and One Dark Window. Okay, so let me kind of talk about these 2 books, since these were like my top favorite of the month. So The Second Chance Year. This is one where somebody, it's kind of like a magical realism where she goes back in and relives a year because she's trying to kind of change things to turn it from a very bad year into a very good year. And not to give away like a ton of spoilers, but it's kind of like she had to learn the lesson that she can't change who she is just to try to make things better. But she really had to kind of pay attention to everything else that was going on that she didn't notice the first time that she lived that year. I mean, this was like an incredibly, it was a phenomenal book. Highly, highly recommend it. I'm trying to remember if that author was a debut. I don't think she was. No, she has other books. She has other books that I actually want to go back and read. But yes, highly recommend that one. And then One Dark Window is a fantasy where they have to collect missing cards to basically like kind of heal this town from a mist that kills people. It is incredibly fun. It's like magic, and it is to me, it is a really good, it's kind of like, I feel like it's in like the Renaissance. It's in the Renaissance era. And I know I'm doing a very bad job of explaining it, but it's like in the Renaissance era. You have magic with these cards, and people who are infected, they have magic, and it's just like a fun adventure fantasy. Definitely recommend it. It has a little bit of romance, but I don't know. To me, I wouldn't classify it as a romance, but excuse me, I do definitely highly recommend both of these. If you're a person who has been wanting to get into fantasy, but you're not the type of person that really likes dragon type fantasy, I would check out One Dark Window. All right, so there we go. My stat page is done. We will be doing December, and then I think I'm going to do like a big... Dude keeps headbutting me because he really wants food. I think I'm going to plan on doing like a double spread for my 2023 review. But this is what we have for November, and then we will do December on this page. And then in 2024, we will switch over to my reading journal, my discount reading journal. Thank you guys so much. Go check out Plan with Emm's video and check out how she does hers too. I feel like Emm does an absolutely phenomenal job on her Bujo stat page because she goes like all out and like literal Bujo queen. But link is in my description. Thank you guys. Question of the day. Are you going to read either of these books? Drop me a comment. Let me know. Thumbs up, subscribe, click that notification bell. Bye. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe and enjoy the next video.